Hi, my name's Karen Burke and I'm a short psychotherapist. I'm a trainer and also a supervisor here at the Manchester Institute of Psychotherapy, and I'm here with Bob
You
Cook.
are Bob Cook, yeah.
And I'm going to talk to Bob today about psychotherapy and reality TV.
Yes, I do a lot of both. I work here as a psychotherapist. I'm also a trainer and supervisor here, and I've been here 30 odd years. And I've witnessed the emergence, really, of what I would call reality TV over these, I don't know, 15 years or so, I would think, since the experiment on Channel 4
Yes.
of the first ever Big Brother. And I remember one of my clients coming in was it middle 1994 or something? No, 1996. Anyway, she came in and she said, "I've just been watching Nasty Nick," and I said, "Nasty Nick?" And she said, "Yeah, Nasty Nick is going to be confronted in the Big Brother household."
Right.
This is Big Brother 1.
Right.
And I have no idea what she's talking about, but in terms
Obviously, you found out later.
Well, yeah, but in terms of my client, really, and taking account of her and everything else, I went and looked at this experiment, and I was interested as well, that if you put sort of 6, 8, 10 people in close confinement for a week or 2 weeks or 10 weeks or 14 weeks, you know, how would that pan out? How would it affect their psychotherapy mentality, their sense of resilience-ness, their sense of neurosis? And since then, I've really been interested in not only the growth of reality TV into areas like, you know, all the X Factors and the USA X Factors and all the different, huge number of reality TV programs.
There's so many fly-on-the-wall documentaries.
You know, the sort of wife swap to goodness knows what.
Yeah.
And many of my colleagues have gone on to be psychotherapists who counsel or go on to the show as an advisor in terms of the mental health conditions and how they're going to be under these conditions. In fact, I was asked once to go and talk about or be there for the participants of Big Brother 7, I think it was, or something like that. And I didn't actually go, as it turned out.
Yeah.
But I've been very interested in the birth of reality TV, psychotherapy, and what that says about the type of person would go into that, what that says about us who watch this so avidly, what it says about our maybe narcissistic tendencies, our antisocial tendencies, the schizoid part of the British culture.
Yeah.
So I thought, well, we could talk about it because I know you and I sit down over breakfast, lunch or tea, and we often pass time and say, did you watch the latest thing of Big Brother? Or, you know, Simon Cowell and, you know, Demi Moore, is it? And Danny Minogue, sorry.
Yeah,
and,
Danny Minogue.
The latest people like Kelly Osbourne, whoever it is anyway.
Yeah.
And who's in Big Brother and what that says about X.
Yes.
So this is what the video is about, and I'll kick off.
Do.
All right. So do you think the type of person who would go on, or let's say Big Brother, that's probably where we started.
Yes.
What sort of character do you think would be attracted to go and spend 10 weeks of their year being videoed and filmed, and their whole invasion of their psychological space being taken up and having to share that with that space with 10, 12 people? What sort of person do you think A, might be attracted to that, and B, what do you think the consequences of this in terms of the invasion of their mental psyche would be?
I personally believe that there's a common strand that runs throughout everyone who goes into the house.
And it's not money.
No, it's not money, or the want of money.
Yeah, go on.
Maybe more recently the want of fame. However, beyond that, I actually think there is a thread of naivety that runs in every contestant. Now,
right.
there may be some contestants that we would consider would have narcissistic traits, for example. However, there is still an element of naivety that they don't understand how they may be impacted.
And you know the biggest clear example of that? And she eventually died, didn't she, through the cancer? Well, it's Jade Goody. And when she went in Big Brother 4, was it, or 3, and there was that scene where she was encouraged to take her clothes off, or at least be naked in the TV, and I remember watching and thinking, wow, I wonder what made that person do this, and why was she there? And because me watching it, that thought, gosh, I suppose as a psychotherapist I wondered psychologically what that was all about. But the naivety of her, as I got to know her more through the television, I found her very endearing.
Yes.
Someone who I got to appreciate those qualities. But I think that is a really good example of naivety in the first instance. I'm not talking about how she got to learn how to be a celebrity person. I'm talking about, like you said, the naivety right at the beginning.
Yes.
That's what you mean, isn't it?
Yes, it is, absolutely. And I'm quite happy, as always, Bob, for you to disagree with what I've said. I mean,
I think that's right.
Do you believe there's a common thread that would run throughout contestants that would choose to go in, and have their way of being scrutinised?
Yeah, I do. I think there's several, and I think you mentioned it, and I was interested in the way you qualified this, because you said at later date, and you said fame. Now, I think fame's always been there.
Yes, the want for fame.
The want for fame.
Yeah, okay.
The 5 minutes on television.
Yes.
Or whatever you want to look at. Now, is that narcissistic? Well, certainly when I watch American Big Brother, or some of the celebrity cult on American TV, the narcissistic sort of stream, because I think America has a pretty narcissistic culture. It's definitely there. But as I watch the English Big Brother, or even the New Zealand Big Brother, or some of the celebrity cult status in the UK, I think there is a search for that 5 minutes on television. If I thought of a consistent thread. What do you think?
Yeah, I would agree with you. That certainly now, I mean, obviously the contestants on Big Brother 1 and even Big Brother 2 would not know, if at all, what dizzy heights their fame may have taken.
That's what you meant later. Right, okay.
Yes, because I mean they didn't know if it was going to be a hit or not. I mean it was the biggest thing ever for Endemol, wasn't it? The production company. However, initially, and of course, round about Big Brother 8 or wherever it was, I lost track of numbers. People were saying it was dying on its feet, etc. So maybe, however, I think that I can't imagine anyone going in and thinking, I will get bad press over this. And of course many do.
Dreadful press.
Yes. So there is something about a confidence that the contestants hold that they will be seen in a positive light.
I think that's what you mean a little bit about naivety.
Yes. Well, it's part of the naivety, and it's not all of it. However, it is certainly some of it.
But you see, I'm always interested in the selection process.
Yes.
In the sense, when I was asked, I can't remember how many years ago about this, one of the first to go in as a psychologist, one of the first questions I asked was, what is the selection criteria?
So how are they chosen?
How are they chosen? And the producer went through the whole remit of, the fact they have rigorous testing and a psychologist. They do psychology testing.
Yeah.
And really, what they're after is how the capacity of their resilience. And yet, when I watch that television, it seems to me that as time has gone on, the producers pick people for what I call the shock element.
Yes. Well, also their vulnerability, I believe.
Yeah.
Because
that's another theme.
Yes. Yeah. Certainly, there has seemed to be. I think you're right. I think that certainly, as far as some contestants are concerned, they're chosen for their shock element. However, and I know this was widely reported in the press regarding that their assessment process wasn't stringent enough, because there seemed to be several on one more recent series. There seemed to be a number of really vulnerable and fragile people.
That's my criticism of the programme nowadays.
Yes, and it's uncomfortable viewing from my perspective to actually see somebody sit and crumble.
And psychologically, their defences seem to be attacked.
Yes.
And they seem very fragile.
Yes.
Often.
Well, it seems as though they have offered and explained their weaknesses, and then that's used against them. And we will all have weaknesses.
That's
right.
Yeah.
And that does seem to be the situation, that they are put in certain situations that will actually make them more fragile, and the shock is actually seeing somebody actually break down, psychologically break down.
I was thinking about the attraction for people to watch these programs. What do you think about the rise of what I call the celebrity culture in the UK and of course Europe and the USA? I think that's a bit of a different. In a way, we could put it together with Big Brother, but I think there's another strand here. That the actual celebrities themselves, or people who can just go into a reality TV program or go on many of these different shows, can become celebrities.
Oh, absolutely.
And I think there's more of a conscious stream towards that.
Yes, and I think that an American example I would give of that would be the Kardashian show.
Oh, yes.
Who some of those people are famous for just being famous. Or making sex tapes in Kim Kardashian's initial situation.
Yeah. Or the Osbournes. Is it the Osbournes?
Yes, well, Ozzy Osbourne was famous in his own right as far as group.
Yeah.
Sharon Osbourne, who of course you mentioned on the X Factor, she was famous within music circles, but nobody else would have known. However, yes, and I'm thinking of the more obscure people that become famous rather than Sharon Osbourne or Ozzy Osbourne. And of course, Kim Kardashian is far from obscure now. Apparently, she's got $40 million. So,
so as a psychotherapist, which you and I both are, watching these programs and seeing the rise of the cult of celebrity, if you like, I'm left thinking about the psychological testing, the assessment of the person who goes into these types of shows, and how we talked about earlier in the tape about how I think some of these assessments let people down. And I think I would call for more thorough psychological testing.
Yes. And I think there's something I want to raise regarding that, and that is that I think TV programs and their producers and all of the staff do have, there's an ethical quality there and question, and I agree with you entirely. However, I think that what can be unregulated is that many people begin their rise to fame now on YouTube and self-disclosure on the net. So I think that's a totally different thing. However, I think as far as television is concerned, I quite agree with you. I think they have a significant responsibility to ensure that there isn't that fragility to people and the shock value. as you say.
Okay, well, thank you. I enjoyed talking about that and having the opportunity to just talk about some of the psychological side of this whole process. So thank you very much, and thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed our discussion and some of the questions that came out of that. And bye-bye.
Thanks very much. Bye for now.
Bye.